I didn't realize he was so darn tall because, when we did our hit a couple of weeks ago, you were, via satellite there. So we were the same height on the screen. But now I see you in person, Congressman. You're tied for tallest member?
I am. I'm 6'7" and tied with Josh Riley for the tallest members of Congress.
It's great to be with you in person.
Yeah, same, Chris. Really enjoyed it a couple weeks ago. And you don't get any perspective from Zoom or from pictures. So
No, that's right. And I'll tell you something, as we kick off this new, I know, well, it's not the new session, but I mean, this new week, you guys are back in town after being away. I was intrigued. I've been asking several members this question. Why do a media availability for you guys on your first day back? I thought it interesting. I think there's a point to it personally. I'm just curious.
sometimes you just got to rip the Band-Aid off and get right back into it. That's the best way to get back into practice. But I also think, look, tomorrow is President Trump's 100th day in office. And so it's a real consequential time to have a conversation with the American people and talk about all the things that have been going on, the things that are to come. And this country has really changed in 100 days. And it's important that we talk about those things.
Specifically, if you were to point to this first few months for you guys in the House, are you proud of what you've achieved or are you frustrated? Congressman Burleson said we've done nothing. We're moving at a snail's pace. He's very frustrated. Do you feel the same way?
I'm proud of what we've done.
Okay.
And look, I think that we've got to understand in the big picture of things, Congress is actually supposed to move very slow. That's a constitutional reality. The executive comes in, they can move very, very quickly. When the two of them are in alignment and are actually working together, which I would submit that is happening through the reconciliation process. Very clearly, we are knocking down barriers in Congress that people thought we were not going to be able to overcome. We have. And I think that shows the commitment to fundamentally changing this country that President Trump campaigned on, that we all campaigned on, and that we're working symbiotically to make those changes happen and make those changes permanent in our country.
Do you think when this bill comes out of the House, in your view, this big, beautiful bill, what's going to be in it? I know your constituents are curious. Social Security, tips, overtime. Will you see taxes reduced, if not eliminated, on those things, or is that too overly optimistic?
No, I think you're going to see movement on those things because President Trump was really clear. I want what I campaigned on in this reconciliation package, in this one big, beautiful bill. And so he's very clearly instructed leaders in Congress to execute that will. That's exactly what they're doing from my interactions with them. And I think we saw that move forward in the reconciliation instructions that were sent out to committee. Now, when those come back in the form of policy, we're going to see exactly how much of that was accomplished. But I would say that it will be most to all, and it will be the single largest sea change that we've seen in conservative policy actually get implemented in this country in quite some time.
Has there been work going on behind the scenes that most of us don't see? I know you've heard it. I hear it from listeners. They're frustrated because they want action. I know you just explained things grind slow in Congress, but are there things going on that maybe we don't know that you could share?
Absolutely. So Congress is like a duck paddling on the water, right? The duck looks perfectly calm, cool, and collected on top of the surface, but underwater, it's moving its feet like no tomorrow. That's what is going on behind the scenes in Congress to make sure that all of these different constituencies that we have across the country that need to be represented when it comes to determining the policy that actually flows through in line with President Trump's objectives through the reconciliation process, that all of those get sorted out. And we make sure that we're not leaving anybody out in the cold necessarily, but simultaneously, we're also accomplishing President Trump's objectives, the objectives that we all ran on as individual congressmen and congresswomen too. And so that takes an unbelievable amount of work because you have to understand, we're looking at basically a Venn diagram of everybody's district layered on top of one another. And we're trying to find the pinhole that actually gets reconciliation done. Given the slim majority that we have, that is unbelievably tough work.
You all have a limited window of time. Then there's midterms. And traditionally, when you're talking about a one party rule on Capitol Hill and in the White House, the ruling party ends up losing in the midterms. Is that a fait accompli? Republicans cannot hold on to the House and Senate. Do you subscribe to that idea? And if you don't, what will be the winning message to sell to your constituents to keep control of the House?
I don't subscribe to some sort of ultimate failure in the midterms. I absolutely don't. And I think that we have all the conditions in place. We've got all the ingredients there to actually make sure that we are the third Congress in 85 years that bucks the trend and maintains the majority for President Trump. And I think there's a couple different reasons why this can happen, and there's a couple different reasons why it's important. Number one, why it can happen is because the Democrats are absolutely lost. They are adrift on open water. They do not have an anchor. They do not have a sail. They have no idea who they are, what they stand for. I mean, they are flying all across the world right now to stand up for illegal immigrants. It That is not what the American people voted for in November. They are not learning the lessons that the American people clearly taught them. And if they continue down this path, they will not be successful in 2026, and it will be our race to lose. Simultaneously, how we actually actively win it is we do what we said we're going to do in this last election. And I think that we are doing that. Congress is doing it. President Trump is doing it. We made promises. We are delivering on those promises. And when people see the outcomes of this really good policy that President Trump has, that Congress is working alongside of him to give the permanence of law, they will vote with us too. We will have earned that vote, and we will have earned that victory in 2026. And I think that's absolutely possible.
Congressman, from your lips to God's ears, we hope you're successful. We wish you the best. Thank you for stopping by today.
Thanks, Chris. Really appreciate it.